How fearful avoidance sabotage healthy love, even when they want it. Have you ever been in a relationship where someone says they love you, need you, and want you, but then they vanish, lash out, or push you away right after a vulnerable moment? If so, there's a good chance you are loving a fearful avoidant. At first glance, it might look like self-sabotage, but underneath that is a much deeper fear. The fear of being truly seen, truly known, and truly dependent on someone else. Fearful avoidants want love badly. They crave connection just like everyone else. But the moment it starts to feel real, stable, or emotionally safe, it triggers a tsunami of internal chaos. And the tragedy is, they often don't even realize they're doing it. Fearful avoidants are typically shaped by early environments that were both unpredictable and unsafe. They may have had caregivers who were loving one moment and rejecting or threatening the next. So they internalized a dangerous belief. Love is inconsistent, people are unreliable, and closeness is a risk. When they finally enter a romantic relationship that feels stable, their nervous system goes on high alert. It's as if the body says, "This is unfamiliar. This can't be trusted." Ironically, the healthier the love, the more it unnerves them, because healthy love doesn't match their internal blueprint for connection. One of the most common patterns in fearful avoidance is emotional whiplash. They might pour their heart out one night, making you feel like the center of their universe. And then the next day, they're cold, distant, or accusing you of being too much. They toggle between anxious and avoidant behaviors. They're terrified of abandonment, yet equally terrified of intimacy. So the moment they start getting closer, they unconsciously sabotage it. They pick fights, they overanalyze your words, they question your motives, they accuse you of things you never said. Not because they don't love you, but because their inner child is screaming, "It's not safe to trust." Many fearful avoidants carry deep shame. They often believe something is fundamentally wrong with them. So when someone starts to love them deeply, they don't believe it's real or sustainable. They start testing the relationship without knowing it. Will you still love me if I get cold? Will you stay if I withdraw? Will you chase me if I leave? These tests aren't games, they're survival strategies, and they almost always lead to self-fulfilling prophecies. They push until their partner gives up, and then they say, "See? I knew you'd leave. I knew I couldn't be loved." It's heartbreaking, not manipulative, but it is destructive. Healthy love requires vulnerability, but for fearful avoidance, vulnerability feels like emotional exposure to danger. So they avoid it in subtle, tragic ways. They downplay their needs. They struggle to express emotions in the moment. They might even cheat or flirt with others just to feel some sense of control or detachment. These behaviors don't stem from evil intent. They're protective reflexes. They were wired to expect betrayal, so they preemptively sabotage love before they get hurt. It's like setting fire to the bridge before someone else can cross it and leave them first. And here's where things get more complicated. Fearful avoidants are often deeply sensitive and emotionally intelligent. They feel things intensely. When they hurt their partner, they often spiral into guilt and shame afterward. They might apologize, make grand gestures, or even promise to change. But unless they've done inner work, healing their childhood wounds, building secure habits, and learning emotional regulation, they'll repeat the cycle again. They don't sabotage love because they want to lose it. They sabotage it because they never learned what safe love feels like. In their nervous system, safety and intimacy still register as danger. Partners of fearful avoidance often feel emotionally exhausted. You may feel like you're walking on eggshells, never knowing if your love will be embraced or rejected. One day you're being adored, the next you're being pushed away. It's a roller coaster that can leave you feeling confused, insecure, or even like you're the problem. But it's crucial to understand, you didn't cause their fears. You just triggered them by getting close. The pain they feel existed long before you showed up. And unless they're willing to face that pain, even the most loving partner won't be able to fix them. So what does healing look like for fearful avoidance? First, it requires awareness. They must see the pattern. They need to recognize how they alternate between craving love and fearing it. Then, they need to get curious about the fear itself. What does intimacy make them feel? What stories do they tell themselves when someone gets too close? Journaling, therapy, and somatic work can be powerful tools for this. And most importantly, they need safe spaces where vulnerability is met with consistency, not chaos. That could be a healthy partner, but it could also be a therapist, a mentor, or even a close friend. If you're dating or in love with a fearful avoidant, your job is not to rescue them, but to hold boundaries with compassion. You can love them, but you cannot do their inner work for them. You can show up with consistency, but you can't make them feel safe if they refuse to receive safety. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is step back and let them face their own mirror. Fearful avoidants won't change just because they lose someone. They'll change when they finally stop running from themselves. Until then, every relationship will end up being a battlefield between their desire for love and their fear of it. In conclusion, fearful avoidants don't sabotage love because they're broken or malicious. They do it because they've never felt safe enough to let love in and keep it. Their hearts are fragile, their defenses are strong, and their wounds are deep. But healing is possible. With time, support, and self-reflection, many fearful avoidants can learn to sit with the discomfort of closeness, to rewrite their story about intimacy, and to finally allow the love they've always longed for, but never believed they deserved. And when they do, that love will no longer feel like a threat. It will feel like peace. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. This topic is deeply personal for many people. Whether you're the one struggling with fearful avoidant tendencies or loving someone who is. The truth is, healing isn't easy, but it's possible, and understanding is always the first step. So if this resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, not with blame, but with compassion, for yourself or for the person you're trying to love. If you found value in this video, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this.